Alrighty, what is going on, ladies and gents? Welcome back to the channel for another market update. Hope everybody had a lovely day. And with that being said, let's dive into the TA. Alrighty, guys, pretty simple game plan moving forward for tomorrow. We did not close out with the most bullish candlestick over here in SPY. QQ did show a little bit more strength over there than SPY today. All right, so NASDAQ is stronger than the S&P 500. Big tech is leading the way, so we're going to focus on that in this video. We're going to quickly go over SPY and QQ, the levels we're going to be paying attention to for tomorrow, and then we're going to go over the Mag 7 stocks, and I got some trade ideas at the end of the video for you. All right. So we're going to kick it off over here with SPY, guys. Real simple game plan moving forward, guys. We closed out, with this, it's an indecision candlestick up here. I'm just going to say we just started breaking out here. I'm going to expect buyers until proven otherwise. I'm going to expect buyers on pullbacks. All right, so price does end up pulling back to 593.20 tomorrow. That is the buyer's line in the sand. That is where this 4-hour 21 EMA is going to come into play. And if we start losing that, that's when this thing could start rolling over here on the 4-hour chart. And at that point, we got this scenario on deck. All right, I'm not saying this is going to be the case, but if we can't hold 593.20, that's what you have to be open to. But until proven otherwise, we're going to expect buyers here at this level 593.20, and then we're going to expect them to take us higher. All right, so on the upside, we have 598.51, 602.48, and 608.13. On the downside, we're watching 595.54, 593.20, and then 589.08. I am not sure if you are going to get this big of a sell all in one day with VIX being this low, so I would not expect that much. But if we start losing 593.20, we have a much better idea of where price is trying to go, which is going to be down here at 589.01. All right, so that is, or not 01, 589.08. All right, so that's SPY. We're going to come over here to QQ, and it's a very similar scenario. I also made that the blue level we're going to be paying attention to. That's going to be our line in the sand. All right, and that's at 523.68. Now, I will point out, guys, we flipped this supply zone, which should have been acting as supply. We flipped it into demand. All right, you see how we sold right through it over there? You can see on the daily chart. Okay, well, what happened today? We got back above it, and we came down. We flipped that into demand. All right, so we are now seeing buy orders in the zone. The fact that we closed above it, I think that's relatively significant. It means we're kind of done with this whole area over here. If we pull back into it again, we're going to keep expecting buyers to step in there. But ultimately, I think we're getting up here 532.10 to 533.82, the next supply zone. All the way up there. We'll just keep it on the daily. All right. So on the downside, we have 527.92, 525.97, and the buyer's line in the sand over here is going to be 523.68. I know 521.95 is the level that ultimately needs to hold here, but the beginning of the end is upon us if we start getting underneath 523.68. But underneath there, we have 521.95, and then we can see that is really the spot that absolutely needs to hold, because then we risk giving back this candle over here, and at that point, the whole move up, it's just been given up. All right, that's not a sign of strength by any means, and at that point, yeah, we're staying in this range, or we're going to be selling. Okay, expect dips to be bought until proven otherwise, and that is that. I will just point out over here in yesterday's video, we did point out that there was a 15-minute bullish divergence as we are coming down into our zone. All right, so this is the 1715 to 1770 demand zone that we're going to be looking for buyers stepping over here on the VIX. All right, I know it's not actually bars over here, but we were looking for VIX to start bouncing over here. We did start bouncing, and now as we can see, we did close down near the low today. I'm still anticipating 1715 to be taken out over the coming trading sessions. You could get a dead cat bounce before that, but I do think it would probably just be sold something like that. All right. We can just peep that on the 4-hour. Okay, so if we do end up getting that dead cat bounce, I will be watching 1811. I'm just going to send an alert right there. You can send an alert as well. If you are not someone who can put levels on your chart that is getting consistent reactions, steal my levels. They are here for that reason. You can put these on your chart and you can have a good time in the market. You don't have to, while you're learning, you don't have to be doing the wrong things. You could be learning what to do the right things. Okay, so steal my levels. I put out a video Monday through Thursday every single week, Monday through Thursday, and then we get one weekly update on the weekend going over what we're looking for on the coming week. If you are new here, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell notification so you know when we put out these videos. Give me 10 to 20 minutes of your time. You could put me on double speed if you really want, and you will have a good time in these markets. There is no channel that does it like us. All right, so yeah, stay tuned. All right, so that's really what we got going on over here on QQQ, guys. On the downside, let's just quickly go over that. On the downside, we're watching 527.92, 525.97, 523.68, and then 521.95. You lose 521.95, it's we're probably coming back down here 515.97. Again, with VIX being this low, don't expect that move to happen all in one day. And then on the upside, we have today's high at 529.84. Then we have our 532.10 to 533.82 supply zone ahead. And again, we got through this supply zone. We're probably going to be heading up to the next one, if I had to take a guess. Okay. All right. Moving on to the mags stocks. Okay. Does this look all that bad to you? No, it does not. This is the mags ETF over here. This is, only having the 7 stocks. So let's just run through them. Tesla, we'll start off with the ugliest over here. Tesla, you did start breaking down today. Whether this should be a sweep of this 331.39 low and then you pop right back up tomorrow, that's anyone's guess. We're going to have to see what happens. But I will point out over here, the hourly RSI is already oversold. And the 4-hour RSI is coming into oversold territory. I am still anticipating this thing gets bought up. I don't know if it's going to get bought up this week, but I will be looking at buyers stepping in around this area. All right, you have the weekly 21, you have the 200-day, you have the 307.04 gap. All right, if you don't hold over here, we're just going to look for buyers somewhere in this area to take you back up over the next 1 to 2 weeks. All right, so that's what I'm looking at on Tesla. NVIDIA, does this look all that bad to you? To me, it looks like it wants to take out 143.44. And above 143.44, we have 148.97 and then 153.13. I think we very well can reach all-time highs with how this thing is set up. All right, does this look all that bearish to you? Please say no, because it is not a bearish chart. All right, so that's NVIDIA. On the downside, you're watching 139.62. If that gives up tomorrow, then we're probably coming down to 137.40 and 135.40. Amazon. All right. Again, I'm going to say it. Does this look all that bad to you? No, it does not. All right. You have a little, left shoulder, you got a little head, you got a little right shoulder action going on here. You're consolidating for 2 to 3 weeks here above the 200-day moving average, above the daily 21 EMA. Price is getting tight here, and it looks like you're about to hit the jets. Get above 208.81, and I think you have a straight shot up to 211.93, and then I think we have this 214.84 to 216.20 zone incoming. Okay, you can see it on the weekly chart. Again, doesn't look all that bad. You had this impulsive move up, slow and controlled move down. All right, and now it looks like we're probably about to start resuming the upward move there. All right, so that's Amazon. Coming over here to Apple, I'm not going to argue this looks the best, but I'm just going to say I feel like more often than not when we end up printing this candle right here, we at least come into the upper wick over here the following day. So I'm going to be watching for Apple to catch a bid tomorrow, and depending how it behaves tomorrow, we're going to expect it to continue. All right, tomorrow's close is much more important than what happened today. But as far as the 4-hour chart goes, we can tell price is having a little battle here. If we can see price get back above 203.81 tomorrow, I do think it's probably going to start pushing up here towards 206.75. All right, so that's Apple. If it loses 202.10, then we do have a risk of it coming back down to 196.78, 198.23. Coming over here to Meta, guys. Does this look all that bearish to you? Please, again, say no. Meta is doing a little thing over here. Meta is now up a whole whopping 50 points, 48 points from where we pointed this bad boy out. Okay, I gave it to you literally on this day I gave it to you on this day right here, but then it was that day. All right, and then on this day, I said that this thing, it's hitting it with the break and risk retest off the level we're watching over here, 641.86. If we could take out 653.32, we're probably going to have a straight move up to 662, 6.7. And if we get up there, next spot is 675.25. Guys, we've now exceeded 675.25, and as of today, we are at 688.65. Again, if you are not someone who can put these levels on your chart that are getting your consistent reactions, you are going to need these to trade. Steal my freaking levels. Just steal them. they're there for the taking. All right, you can have them. They're here. If you want a more hands-on approach, you want to come join me in the Discord. I will be live streaming every day. That link is down below. But I do what I can to provide as much value as possible to everyone for absolutely no cost to anyone. And that is through these YouTube videos here. Steal my levels. Steal my stuff. It's good stuff. I promise. GOOG. Does this look all that bad? You found buyers. I told you in yesterday's video, you had to hold on here. Okay, buyers had to step in here. 168.24. You couldn't lose this spot here because it's right on the daily 21. If you lost it, you were going to come down to 163.24. All right, so now on the upside, guys, we are pivoting off of this daily 21 EMA. We're going to watch 170.65. And if you can get back above there, we're watching 173.44. That's going to be right around that 200. You get above 173.44, you come back to 176.90. Coming over here to Microsoft. All right, it's continuing just to grind higher. I'm still thinking, yeah, all-time highs is incoming over here. It's likely going to be the case. All right, so that's the Mag 7 stocks for you guys. And I'm just going to say, there's only one like real bearish looking chart over here, and it's Tesla, and it's also right there in the daily 21. So for all we know, it could have just swept this low and it's going to pop back up tomorrow. We will see. All right. But you know, the picture I'm trying to paint here is that we don't have the most bearish look across the board. We'll come over here to small caps, and you know, guys, I think this move is underway. I think we consolidate for a few days. Maybe we continue higher tomorrow. But even if we pull all the way back down here to 206.02, what are you going to have? It's going to be a nice inverse head and shoulders pattern. All right, something like that. And then we're probably just going to break up above 210.13 anyway and run to 213.97, then 216, which is going to have the 200 DMA right there. All right, you know, things don't look all that bad at all. Okay, on IWM above 210.13, watch 213.97 and 216. All right, now I'm going to just go over some trade ideas for you. Okay, all right, SMCI, guys, I gave you this one when we were down here off the 200. We had this bullish engulfing candlestick on Monday. We started turning around. All right, now we got a bull flag breakout over that trend line. And now we're just testing this really big trend line going on right here from straight from all-time highs. All right, we can see it clearly on the weekly time frame. All right, touch point, touch point, touch point, touch point. Okay. It looks like we had an impulsive move up out of this base over here, and you came back and retested it. You retested the weekly 21, the 200-day moving average, and now we are starting to resume the move up out of this, you know, little 2-week range. I'm thinking this thing could be about to hit the jets on us for a little bit. I think we could be about to push 47.80 and then 50.61. We'll see what happens, but you know, as of today, you're sitting right here on this trend line. If you could pop above 44.99 tomorrow, we're talking 47.80 probably in the short term. Second one I'm gonna put on your radar over here, Piton. I already put it on your radar. You didn't end up holding up right here. You came a little further down, but as of today, you are starting to perk back up. All right, I'm just gonna highlight how the weekly chart is looking over here. Let's just check out the monthly as well. It does not look bad by any means. But on the weekly chart specifically, guys, you can see we're holding the weekly 21, the 200 DMA over here. If we take out 780, we're talking 849. It's probably going to come very quick. Above there, all right, the next stop is going to be 982. I know you have the golden pocket, but, you know, with what's going on here, yeah, I think we're probably about to build out something bigger, okay? You know, a bigger move there. APLD, congrats.
That was easy.
Congrats. We caught a banger. We caught a ripper. Okay, this is all you need to do to make your week this week. APLD. You know, if you want to come trade with me, I'll put everything on your radar as I'm seeing it. All right, this one popped on my radar on Monday morning. We ended up taking calls off the open. And yeah, we caught an absolute ripper over here. I ended up today, I got out of... We're out of 620 calls. We're riding 718 calls, guys. But, you know, I'll just remind everyone, if you were in this with me, the original target for the shorter dated calls, so it's going to be 1248. Okay, that's why, you know, I have the July 18 calls. We are, you know, planning on selling those for, I'm thinking 15, 20 bucks. But what happened in the overnight session, guys? We hit 15 shekels. Okay, right here on the, you know, right on the dot, 1508 up on the top end. All right, so that's in the overnight session. This thing's going a little nutty. I think this thing's going to go freaking crazy. Okay. This is, you know, something that I put on your radar the other day. It's still only a $3 billion market cap. I pointed out when it was a $2 billion market cap. It got awarded a contract with CRWV. Do you guys want to see what happens with CRWV? It's going a little bonkers. Okay. So that is the hype right here, guys. That is the hype. And you know, congrats if you trade it, but just remember, you're taking it with me over here. This was always the target, 1248, new highs over here. It was the target. And now, you know, 1315 or 1350. And then the key level right there. Well, above there, we're talking 1578 and then 1896. Guys, we're already, you know, up to 15 bucks in the afternoon hours. Okay. So, you know, just remember to take your profits over here. Yes, I do think this is going higher. Okay. You got a very big base breakout over here. I think it's definitely coming up, you know, 1896 up here. I think it's definitely on the table. But yeah, I'm just going to remind everyone, take your freaking profits. Okay. Next one, bros, guys. About to hit the Jets. Above 73.93, we're talking 80.62. It can come over the next 1 to 2 weeks once that trigger level is taken out. 73.93. We saw a hood. We saw a PLTR. This is PLTR 3.0. All right. This is literally when it was down here. We'll just look at the weekly chart. You're still in the stage over here on bros. All right. You want to talk about the next one we traded like that? It was over here on hood. All right. And now we have the same setup, except I'd say better over here on bros. This thing, we're talking 80.62 once we get above 73.93. And then above there, 86.88. And I think that can come over the following weeks. We're about to resume this move. Okay, you have a 3 to 4 week range going on here. It's a 4 week range right here. You're about to break up from that. Okay, the range stems, it's $7. Okay, that brings you straight up here to 80.62. So keep it on your radar. If you want to trade it, hey, I'm really liking it. Okay, and tomorrow, I'm thinking about if we get that breakout, I'm probably just gonna add to the position there with 718 ADC. To really properly play that move. And that's going to be 100 to 150% gain by the time we get up to 80.62. Okay. So that is bros. We're going to come over here to Palantir, PLTR. I put this guy on your radar coming into the week. And I'm just going to say you have now pulled back, retested our 125.41 to 127.88 demand zone down there. The low being 125.58. Got very close to the bottom end of that. But we did find demand. We are finding buyers there. So I'm just going to tell you guys, I'm going to take this level off. All right. And we're going to make it here. The mark out the highs, 135.28, guys. Above 135.28, we're talking 140, 145, and 150. I think that is something that is coming. Okay. Aside from that, guys, I'm going to just put Wolf on your radar. This is from my buddy Joshua Hill. All right, he's in the Discord, but you know, he ended up putting this one on my radar. But yeah, I mean, you know, I'm not gonna be trading it, but I'm just gonna point out over here: 1 earnings report, 2 earnings report, 3 earnings report, 4 earnings report. All of them within 2 trading sessions. You had these, you know, pretty much 30 to 60% moves. I'm just saying, it definitely has a bullish setup over here, and you have 1, 2, 3, 4. The last 4 times, 4 out of 4, 100% win rate. The last 4 times, you had this big bullish move off of this earnings catalyst. And I'm just gonna point out, most of the time, you didn't actually see that, you know, move happen right away. Like over here, yeah, you had a big gap up, and then it faded. Okay, so you didn't really have a chance to play it. You had to hold through earnings. You got earnings tomorrow after the close, by the way. You know, over here, hold all the way back down here, 291 up to 330. There's that. But, you know, if you're just holding through the earnings report, there you go. You got that 30 to 60% gain on all of these. So I'm just putting it on your radar. It's not something I'm going to be partaking in. But the last 4 out of 4 earnings reports did end up bringing this 30 to 60% spike over the coming 2 trading sessions. So something to keep on your radar. All right, so that is Wolf, and that is what I have for you guys today. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and if you did, please remember to leave a like. We are a heavily underrated YouTube channel here on this platform. You know, I'm not really sure why, but I will do what I can to provide the absolute most amount of value to all of you guys as possible. All right, for free, no cost to you. Just please remember to scratch my back. I scratch your back as much as I possibly can. Please just remember to scratch my back from time to time and smash that like button. All right. If you are new here, guys, just remember, hit the subscribe button. YouTube does not do it for you. All right. And hit the bell notification so you know when we put out these videos every day. Well, Monday through Thursday, and then the weekly update there Saturday or Sunday. So you can stay up to date on the market and you can continue making money in the market. All right. With that being said, appreciate y'all. I will catch y'all in the next one. Peace.